27, Monday, January 25th. By the way, in a little short time from now, the House managers are going to walk over the articles of impeachment to the Senate. How exciting. The trial will start in 2 weeks, but still, they're walking them over today, and in 2 weeks from now, we will have a trial. And if you think 17 Republicans in the Senate are going to vote to convict Donald Trump, please contact me. I've got a unicorn ranch I'm trying to sell. It'll be great for you to have there. I mean, they're not going to do it. A few will, which is good. And still, it's the right thing to do for Democrats. The Republicans won't do the right thing. And that's really my big point tonight is we saw it over the weekend, and we've seen the last week or two, but over the weekend, very, very clear. The GOP is punishing anyone who dares criticize Donald Trump, but they will not criticize Donald Trump for inciting an insurrection. And it is remarkable. This is where the GOP is. It is a party that more and more is defending Donald Trump's incitement of violence that led to an insurrection on our Capitol on January 6th. And I really fear going forward, something I've talked about. Some people like it and some don't, but I believe it, and I want to be wrong ultimately, is that the GOP, that MAGA is the military wing of the GOP, and that unless the GOP takes steps now to rid itself of the violent element of MAGA, it will dominate and take over the party. And the party might split or not, but what we saw over the weekend in Arizona, they had a vote on who would be their state chair for the Republican Party. And at the meeting, they censured, publicly mocked the John McCain's widow, Cindy McCain, and the former Republican Senator Jeff Flake for endorsing Donald Trump, and the current Republican governor, Governor Ducey. Now, they had this little thing that they were criticizing him for COVID shutdowns, which just saved lives. The reason they went after him, let's be blunt, is because he would not support Donald Trump's attempt to overthrow the election results in Arizona. This is what they're about. The GOP, and we're seeing it, this was a vote by delegates, and they voted overwhelmingly to mock and ridicule those three, to censure those three, because they stood up to Donald Trump. And worse, they reelected as state chair Kelly Ward. If you don't know Kelly Ward, she's an election lie peddling, Trump-loving person who was a failure as the GOP state chair. Objectively speaking, she should be gone. I mean, since she took over 2 years ago, Democrats, we flipped the state for the first time for president. Joe Biden won for the first time since 1996. We won a Senate seat. So now, since the first time since the 1950s, Democrats control both Senate seats in Arizona, yet they reelected her. Why? Because Donald Trump made a recording for her that they played for the delegates saying, I give her, about Kelly Ward, my complete and total endorsement. All they are is about loyalty to Trump. They don't stand for any policies. There's no policy. They talk about things like cancel culture, like Matt Gaetz today and Josh Hawley, cancel culture. There's no policies there. Where are their policies that help Americans in need? We have unemployment getting worse. Where are their policies? Nothing. It's red meat for their base. You know, it's remarkable when you see the difference between Democrats and Republicans, red meat. Red meat for the Republican base is victimhood and bigotry. Democrats, our red meat for our base, is furthering equality and helping people's lives. Vastly different. Now, what we're seeing more of the Republicans is that what happened in Arizona is not just something's happening in that state. We're seeing GOP leaders on a national level punish Republicans who speak out against Donald Trump. There's a reminder, after the January 6th Capitol insurrection, these members of the House and Senate came back after cowering on the floor from a Trump mob and understandably hiding. I'm not mocking them, but they came back. And over 135 in the House voted not to certify Joe Biden's win, furthering Donald Trump's big lie. And the next week, when there was a chance to hold Donald Trump accountable with impeachment, out of 211 House Republican members, how many voted to impeach Trump? 10. That's 5%. And since that vote, all 10, according to the New York Times reporting over the weekend, have been subject to a backlash by Republican leaders in their home state, from censuring them to calling for them to resign to saying that they're going to have a primary challenge against them. And the one who suffered the most is Liz Cheney, the congresswoman from Wyoming and the daughter of Dick Cheney. No fan of Liz Cheney, but she did the right thing here. She stood up for our democracy over partisan concerns. And while we disagree on everything about policy, she did the right thing here. And what are they doing? They're trying to take away her leadership in the House. She's third-ranking member. Plus, Matt Gaetz is flying to Wyoming from Florida to build support to primary here. There's already primary challenges against her. So the message the GOP is sending right now is very clear. If you call out Donald Trump's attempted coup and insurrection, you're going to pay a price. It couldn't be more clear what the GOP is about. This is not democracy. This should not be a left-right issue. There was no voter fraud. Donald Trump had almost 90 cases to prove voter fraud and failed at every one, him and his allies in federal court, including 9 judges Trump personally appointed. So that's all bullshit. And now they're using the big lie, and Rand Paul was on ABC yesterday just continuing to regurgitate the lie to try to suppress the vote in various states. And there's even more of it going on now. In Texas, the Republican chair there said, because of voter integrity, we want to have less early voting days. Early voting days are in person. There's not even a hint of fraud. But what they know is studies show Democrats use early voting days more than Republicans. Same thing with Georgia, trying to end the no excuse absentee ballot. Why? There's no fraud. They've signature verification. It's because Democrats use it more than Republicans. The GOP is an anti-democratic party, and I don't mean democratic as us, small d, anti-democracy. They've been doing this for years. They've been descending into authoritarianism. It's been studied and charted by experts. I've written about it. This is not new. But now that they're losing the elections and they're going to do even more voter suppression, when that doesn't work, and I'm just being blunt, expect to see more violence. That's all they have left. And considering the party is not truly splitting like people think they're going to, instead they're rallying around Trump, they're rallying around his call for violence, they're rallying around his insurrection and defending it and punishing those who call it out. Going forward, the GOP will truly be, as I've talked about before, America's biggest full-blown fascist movement. For those uncomfortable with the term fascism, look it up. I'm not being hyperbolic. It's academically correct. This is where they are. So I ask you, how can we have unity with a party that is more loyal to Donald Trump than our democracy? It is impossible. We cannot meet halfway on authoritarianism. We cannot meet halfway on their white supremacy. It's not going to happen. So if there are Republicans who want to join us on issues that are helping American people, great. You're welcome to join us. But it's a waste of our time. Let's reach out to the people in the middle in America who want to help people. And there's a small percentage of Republicans want to come along. You're welcome. We'd love to have you. Talk about that and more in my show. Tonight, my show, of course, is live 6 to 9 p.m. Channel 127 on Sirius XM. I say every night, if you don't subscribe, come on over. There's free trials on the website on SiriusXM.com. Better yet, not only listen to my show on Channel 127, be a part of the family. Join us. We got a lot of work to do, my friends. So much work to make this country better. As I say every night, if you want progress, stay active. Thanks for tuning in tonight's preview of the Dean Obeidallah Show.